Welcome to Back into the Future with Mark and Carol. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to now, or whenever you're listening to this. Maybe it's 2026 when we're recording this. Maybe it's, 2073. I assume the show will last that long.
Of course.
My name is Mark. With me, as always, is my wife, Carol. How are you today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here, I guess. We don't really usually start these this way, but we are talking Euphoria.
Yeah.
All of Euphoria, mostly season 3, I guess, although we'll touch a little bit on the other parts of Euphoria that we watched too.
I feel like we must have talked about Euphoria before. Like, I don't think this is our first Euphoria episode.
That's a great question. I don't remember all the episodes we do, so I don't know. We've done almost 1,000 episodes.
Right?
So.
If anybody remembers if we've talked about Euphoria, feel free to drop us a line. Let us know at latefee1994AOL.com.
Exactly. But we might rush through this, everyone, because in solidarity with Rue, we both took fentanyl at the right before we got on the air. So it's a race to see if we finish the episode.
My goodness. What are you talking about, sir?
But we finished Euphoria. There's going to be spoilers. We don't necessarily usually do spoilers and non-spoiler sections. So just so you know, if this is your first time listening to our show, well, welcome. And second of all, know that from here on out, we may talk spoilers.
And also, if you're only listening because you're a Euphoria fan, just so you know, what our show normally is, is that we pretend that it's 25 years ago and talk about movies, television shows, sometimes music or news of that time.
Pop culture.
All about it.
It's a lot of fun.
Show started when it was 1994.
That's right. Yeah.
Now it's 2001.
Yeah. In the
except right now it's 2026.
Exactly.
It's back into the future. Yes.
We also do stuff like this too. So.
Because sometimes you got to just talk about it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we can't always watch stuff from 25 years ago and be 100% behind the times. We also have a life and watch stuff.
It is hard to do sometimes. What? Why'd you look away?
I looked away because I ran my feet over the carpet here and I got in a static shock.
Oh, no.
So I looked away for a second. Sorry.
At first I thought that I did something and I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Carol's very sensitive to my looks and moods.
We went out for our anniversary.
Yes.
And I had a cocktail.
13 years,
So
Carol.
If I seem a little weird, it's because I had a cocktail.
And the fentanyl.
There's no fentanyl.
That you know about. I slipped into your drink.
You know that's not how to get lucky, right?
If you're a necrophiliac.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Awful.
Anyway, so we watched Euphoria. I have many, many, many thoughts about this season, this episode. And I will say at the onset here, there's two things I've heard a lot of. One is that this season doesn't feel like the first two seasons of Euphoria, which I completely agree with. The Euphoria started out as a show that was like, let's meet teenagers where they live. Obviously, the stars of the show were not teenagers.
Right.
But they were supposed to be teenagers. But like, let's meet teenagers where they live, and let's talk frankly about addiction in high schoolers and things like that. And it was a very grounded and gritty show that I think was heightened. It was over the top a little bit.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, we're not teenagers now, but we do have teenagers.
We do now, but when the show started, 5 years ago, our children were little.
Well, I had a 15-year-old.
Okay.
5 years ago.
Yeah. But I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the ones that live with us.
Right.
They were little, and the show scared the fuck out of me because I'm like, is this what life's like? Do I have to be terrified my teenagers are going to, be drug addicts and porn stars?
Right. They were also in Los Angeles, so maybe it's a little different. Who knows?
Maybe.
But yeah, the show was generally gritty and realistic, although heightened and over the top.
Right.
And Nate Jacobs was the the antagonist essentially of the show. He was the scary, I'll fucking do whatever I want, like bad guy of the show, and drugs.
Well, his dad was kind of the bad guy too.
Yeah, both of them were intimidating. Unfortunately, Eric Dane obviously passed away. It looked like he put every ounce of energy into the very little bit of screen time he had because of unfortunately his illness, but he was excellent in what little we had.
Rest in peace, McSteamy.
Yeah.
Currently watching season 3 of Grey's Anatomy with my kids now.
Is that when he appears?
He first appears in season 2.
Oh, okay. So he's in the first half of Grey's Anatomy, the first 14 seasons?
I don't remember how much of Grey's Anatomy he's in. Not that much, really.
But anyway, so season 3 is very, very different.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And so I agree. I don't know that I necessarily view that as a criticism, like a lot of people online are seeming to view it, but it's different. And I think with the long break between season 2 and season 3, because of COVID, because of scheduling, because of other things, I don't think they could have done it without it being different.
Yeah.
And with Angus Cloud, unfortunately, also rest in peace, passing away.
Very sad.
From drugs.
Very, very sad.
I don't really think it could have been the same. And I don't think, obviously, the characters have grown, these actors have grown a lot. And they really couldn't do it in high school. I mean, no one is going to believe that Zendaya or Sydney Sweeney are seniors in high school.
Right.
So I think Maude Apatow could still pass, but I don't know about those two.
Maude Apatow?
That's Lexi.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But anyway, so it had to be different, and Sam Levinson decided to go way over the top, which at times it worked for me, at times it didn't work for me. But I think it worked a lot better than most people did, I think.
I enjoyed it. I really, I thought it was a great season. I mean, it was definitely, like you said, very different, but not bad. Not at all.
And I really liked the ending. And that's also apparently controversial. The other thing I'm seeing a lot online is, and I purposely didn't seek out much about this before we talked about it. I'll probably consume media. I'll probably consume more of it after this recording is done. But the other thing I'm seeing is a lot of people talking about it being either right-wing or Christian propaganda, which I think is, and I don't mean offense to anybody that thinks this way, but I think is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Were the themes of Christianity very, in your face, especially Maude Apatow's weird and poorly acted monologue at the end where she's like, hey, have you, I expected her to turn towards the camera and say, have you heard the good news? Let me tell you about the Bible. Cass, a new Bible? No, the old one that's been around, the whole time. That was maybe a little heavy-handed. But in the first 2 seasons, if you go back and look at the first 2 seasons, there is a lot of religion. There's a lot of religious iconography. There's there's choir sounding songs. Religion has been an underpinning of the show because the show in its heart is about addiction and recovery, and most of the recovery programs that are out there have a big underpinning in Christianity.
Not necessarily Christianity, just a higher power.
Sure, but there's a lot, in AA, there's a lot, in AA and NA, there's a lot of, they say higher power, but there's a lot of Christianity talked about. Wouldn't you say?
No, I wouldn't. I've heard them say it doesn't matter what your higher power is. It could be an ashtray as long as you believe there's something bigger than you.
Sure, but I've heard criticisms of NA and AA from many people who have been in programs like this that are not religious, that the overt higher power stuff is kind of a deal breaker for them or is something that turns them off a little bit to it. So all that is with me saying Sam Levinson has admittedly struggled with drugs, has been in recovery, And I feel like he's writing a lot about his personal experience. He obviously feels strongly about Christianity. Now, the other thing, too, and I'll get to why I think this is not necessarily a ringing endorsement for Christianity or America, but the other thing is, I think it's kind of sad, and we're not here to proselytize to you or whatever, or talk about what our own religious points of view are or whatever, which are complicated and don't fit into cookie-cutter boxes like everyone wants to. But I think it's kind of sad that we're at a point where any positive portrayal of Christianity is considered Christian propaganda.
Right.
Like, I don't think the show is trying necessarily to shove Christianity, like, you need to believe this, except for that one weird monologue, which was weird. But other than that, I don't think they're really trying to shove it down your throats like they are Coca-Cola. But I think it's kind of sad that, like, and I also think it's sad that anytime Christianity is mentioned, people automatically think conservative.
Yeah.
And that's the church's fault. I mean, that really, if you want to look at it, that's the church saying that we care more about getting into politics than about rising above it, which they should rise above. If they really believe God the Father and Jesus and all the higher power stuff that they talk about, then they should not muddy themselves with American politics, and they should rise above that stuff. That's their fault.
I miss the separation of church and state.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And I wish that it was more, I wish there was more of a delineation. But I don't think that this was an endorsement for conservatism. I don't think it was an endorsement necessarily for Christianity either. I think both are sort of heavily criticized. I mean, like in one of the final scenes, they perverted a little bit. I was thinking about the shot with the ring light where Cassie is in her big empty house,
like the Madonna.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a perversion of that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize this time. I went back and looked at it. She's holding a dildo.
Oh God, I didn't notice that either.
And stroking a dildo the whole time she's talking to Lexi. She's like cleaning it or something.
Wow. No, I did not realize that at all.
And so she's sitting on that bed with dildos in this Madonna pose. And then we pull back to her giant, big, empty house. So
where she looks like a doll in a dollhouse.
Exactly. And to me, this is like criticism of two different things. One is a criticism of maybe like overt Christianity, or a criticism of like the evangelical kind of like commercialized Christianity that exists now. And two, it's a criticism of the American dream, because they talk about, like, lots of people talk about the American dream in this season. And it struck me when what's his name? Alamo was talking about it.
Alamo Brown.
At the end of the last episode, where he was saying like he wanted his American dream or whatever, white picket fence and all that stuff. She got that stuff that she was supposed to share with Nate. He's obviously gone. So she has won, quote unquote, her American dream with the money that she's got and the house that she's got. But it's hollow. It's empty.
No love.
And there are windows all over the place. I read somebody saying like whores that live in glass houses or something like that. I guess that's a phrase. I've never heard it before.
I've heard of people who live in glass houses. I've not heard of whores that live in glass houses.
But I don't think that's what the windows are about. I don't think it's a glass house metaphor. I think all the windows there are, when we pull back, are to show she's sitting there on the bed and there's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's all empty.
I don't know that they're windows. I feel like it's truly like set to look like a dollhouse. Dollhouses do not have a wall on the outside.
Yeah.
So you can reach in and play with the dolls. I feel like that was the point.
Yeah. And I think both. I think it could be both things. And
yeah.
I think it goes. I think the whole point is that she is empty.
Yes.
And her life is empty.
Which is sad.
Yes. Everyone gets a sad ending, essentially.
Does Maddie get a sad ending?
Maddie doesn't look... I mean, Maddie does kind of look happy right at the very end, but I guess, I don't know, we'll have to see what happens with her.
But we won't see. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, I said we'll have to see we're gonna get more. We're not getting more. By the way, anybody that didn't see Sam Levinson, HBO, they both announced obviously with Rue dying that it's over. They obviously didn't want to say, hey, this is gonna be the last season, because then everyone would be like, oh, Rue's gonna die, even though they were already speculating that. But they wanted to save it till after all the definitive endings.
Sure.
What did you think about the final episode as a whole? I have a few things that I noticed that I want to talk about, but I want to hear what you have to say.
So I liked it. I didn't love that Rue died. I feel like it's fitting that she died, but like the actual scene, I didn't like the way that went. I didn't enjoy it.
I loved it.
Really?
I loved her death scene. It was my favorite part of the show. It's of the episode anyway. It was not that she died, but like everything about the way that was done. And it was the one that felt the most to like season 1 or season 2 to me.
Yeah.
Of Euphoria. So she's sitting there she's laying there going to sleep or whatever. Ali goes to sleep. Next morning comes and it's obvious we realize none of this happened. But she's sitting up, she's eating cereal. She sees that Fez has escaped prison, so she goes to rescue him. And then the montage of everything, it was so beautiful and touching and poignant. She's driving like hell to rescue her friend, and she sees Jules on her bike, like she used to be. Jules, who is completely irrelevant this this season, but she sees her on her bike. She sees herself as a younger person in a car. Her mom and her sister Gia driving in a car. We get that like beautiful like footage of her and Angus Cloud, which it was not digitally recreated or whatever. It was apparently from something that got cut from the previous seasons. And just and then the thing that got me the most is she goes home, she sees the plants, and I know this is just her imagining it or whatever, but the plants in her room are alive. They're not dead, meaning that her mom had to be taking care of these plants, hoping that, eventually she'd come home. Then the thing that struck me the most is, she reaches out to her mom. It's all everything's beautiful. Her mom morphs into her dad because her dad died. Her dad is wearing the red hoodie that she's wearing laying on the couch that she dies in at Ali's, that she's worn in the 2 previous seasons. And it clicked for me for the first time that was her dad's hoodie. That's why she wore it all the time. It was like a part of him. And that connection between the two of them and everything, and he had passed away, and she was dying, it was really beautiful to me.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the other thing about her dying that got me is when Ali goes to and this is why I think it's not all about Christianity, by the way, when Ali goes to the farm at the end, the homestead or whatever they call it, and the little girl, he's looking in the barn, the little girl says she had her calf 3 months ago. It's a miracle. That's Rue. Rue died 3 months ago. All she wanted was to be in that place, apparently, or whatever. She was reincarnated as that cow.
Interesting theory.
It was born the same time she died, and she's there. And why point that out to us? That this cow was born. Why point it out? It was 3 months, which is when we know she passed away. So it's I feel like that all connects with she's there, in spirit or whatever, And that's more of a Buddhist or an Eastern philosophy kind of idea. So I think there's a lot of religions that are swirling together in here. But I definitely think Sam Levinson believes in a higher power, and I think that has imbued the entirety of the season, or definitely the season, but the entirety of the show. Yeah. It's just more overt in this final season.
So, speaking of the farm scene, right? Yeah. So, she started out there, And yes. we meet the young lady who you kept saying was Sydney Sweeney's doppelganger.
I have a theory about that too. She looks a lot like a young Sydney Sweeney.
And then we end there, and we're seeing her again. And I kind of wondered what the whole point was of the beginning and ending at this place with these people. You have a theory, I can tell.
Well, so I think, I've been thinking a lot about all this stuff. I think that the show is rejecting the idea of the American dream, and the whatever you consider the American dream now, with all the technology, the money, the possessions, and stuff like that, because there are so many people that have it. Alamo has it. Alamo has all the money he could want, all that stuff, but he feels empty. Mm-hmm. He says so to Maddie. Everyone in this world feels empty, except for the people on the homestead that have separated from all of it. Okay. They're off the grid. They're not connected to the outer world. So I think I don't necessarily agree, by the way. I wouldn't want to live there. But I do think that there are definitely things perverted about what people think of as the American dream now. I think money is far too incentivized and worshipped and whatever in our society. But I think that that's the point of view of that. I think that's Sam Levinson's point of view, is these people are happy. Now,
makes sense.
Those people were clearly Republican, and I want to say in the first episode there was something that we saw that was like maybe that a Trump sign or something. I don't know. But I don't necessarily think that's necessarily an endorsement for Trump or anything. I think it's just more that's the reality. These people living in Utah or whatever off the grid probably would be Republican.
Right.
But the Sydney Sweeney thing, the woman that looks like Sydney Sweeney. And then later, Maddie is talking to Alamo, and she's like, I think my top girl could start earning $1 million a month or whatever on OnlyFans, when she's talking about getting in business with Alamo. And Alamo's like, let me see her. And she shows him a picture, and he's like, fuck, I got 3 girls that look like this. I think that, I don't know if this is a weird meta commentary or what, and this maybe is a little far-fetched, but I feel like this is Sam Levinson maybe speaking to Sydney Sweeney or about Sydney Sweeney or whatever, saying like, yeah, people always talk about she's so hot, she's got big boobs, whatever, right? There's a bunch of women like that. There is a bunch of women out there that are hot, that have big boobs or whatever. Why aren't they where you are? If it's so easy. Because you have something that they don't have. You have a talent they don't have. Like, it's a weird thing of like, maybe it's a response to criticism Sydney Sweeney's got or whatever. That like, hey, if it's so easy, why can't anyone do it? Why can't anyone make $1 million? Why can't anyone be a big movie star if they're as hot as Sydney Sweeney? Because we have to admit there are women out there like
sure.
That are. But
she does have a unique look, though. I mean, I know we say this one looks like her, sure, but there's something unique about her look.
I do agree, but I also think she's a very talented actress.
Yes,
I think in a lot of ways she carried this season. I mean, I think her and Zendaya both did, and her and Zendaya are not really ever on screen together. So I think in Cassie's parts that Sydney Sweeney carries the show, and I think in Rue's parts Zendaya carries the show. Yeah. But I think they're the two that are obviously doing the most heavy lifting.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think Jake, what's his name? Is it Jacob? Jacob Elordi?
I don't know.
Whatever. I think it's Jacob Elordi. I thought he was not great. Considering, he was just nominated for an Academy Award for Frankenstein. Huh. Considering his ability to act, because he's clearly a good actor. And I don't know if it's the material he was given or what, but or if he just didn't care that much. But I don't think he killed it this season, I have to say, like he did in other seasons. But his character, too, I have a problem with. Because he was so aggressive and so menacing in the first 2 seasons, and he is an absolute like cream puff in this season. And a lot of people have said like, oh, well, he's not in high school anymore. He's in the real world and shit. I think that would have worked better if instead of every time we saw that weird loan shark dick that he borrowed money from that was like threatening him, instead of every time we saw those two together in the early parts, he was always like, "Oh, I got you. I'll get you. No, I'm gonna be charming," and so like I'll charm you into thinking like I'm doing like almost like he was playing him, right? But using charm and stuff like that. Instead of doing that, I think that I think they should have gone a different way. I think he should have tried to be intimidating. I think he should have been putting on his high school like face and being like, "Look, I'll tell you when I pay you," or whatever. Like I write better dialogue, but like try to be intimidating and then quickly realize, "Oh fuck, this shit doesn't work out here where it's not high school." I think that would have hit better than him just like being what he is.
Maybe, but there was a good 5-year gap between the seasons, right? And he spent that 5 years working in his dad's company and catering to Sydney Sweeney, Cassie's character.
Yeah.
So I feel like he was a little like beaten down by the time that the season came. I feel like that's a lot of what we were seeing. Not that, he's like a whole new character, but he's that character just with all the edges rubbed off.
I agree. And I think that's a good way to put it. I think what they did is maybe more the reality of the situation. After 5 years, that would happen. But cinematically, story-wise, I think they have to realize, yes, it's a big gap, but for us, it still is only 1 season. Even though it's lasted 5 years or whatever, it still only is 1 season. I wish, even if it's not as realistic, we could have seen a little bit more of a transition. A little bit more of him trying to be intimidating in the real world like he was in high school and failing and getting his toe cut off and realizing, holy fuck, this is not high school, this is real life, and this shit's not going to work. And then see him a little bit more of like, the poodle that he became. And I think that would have, the fall of that character then like that, I think would have hit better.
Can I talk about Cassie's character for a minute when it comes 100%. To Nate and their relationship?
Yes.
Because, I all kinds of stuff happens. She's like a whole different person by the end. Mm. In the beginning, when she's with him and when they first get married and everything happens, she is a whiny little baby.
100%.
I want to beat her ass. Like, he gets his toe cut off and she's like, it's my wedding. Why is this happening to me? And it made me hate her.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I didn't hate her before. I felt bad for her. I thought she was a little crazy. Mm-hmm. But I kind of hated her for like the first half of the season at least.
Yeah, I can see that.
And she's still like not my favorite. I mean, like I felt sorry for her by the end and like got a little respect for her because she was trying to do things on her own or whatever. But oh my God, everything was fucking about her. And it's awful.
Yeah, well, she's a very selfish character. I do think that her, and we said this when the scene happened, but her and Maddie in the diner and everything, and Maddie coming over to her side and them like linking hands together and like cuddling or whatever on the side of the diner. That's the love story of this season anyway. The two of them, like obviously more of a platonic love story, but like a guy came between them, broke up this friendship that was a very, very strong friendship. I mean, contrast that to her conversation with Lexi, who's her sister.
Right.
And they do not have that connection at all. There's a coldness and a distance between the two of them that doesn't exist with her and Maddie. And I think them going through this together and coming together, I think that's the story. Being friends again.
Agreed. I feel like it's a little bit unlikely, though. I mean, because
given where we left it off in season 2, I agree.
Yeah, because a guy did come between them, And Cassie just married him. I mean, yeah, he's gone now, but that like just happened. So, and when they started hanging out again, it seemed like Batty was plotting against her.
Yeah, which never amounted to anything.
Because she actually just immediately started helping her?
Yeah, like, I thought that was weird, too, because she was, like, she was basically saying, like, I'm going to fuck up her and Nate's relationship by getting her to do this OnlyFans shit that she wants to do, which I know Nate hates the idea of. And then she just launches a successful OnlyFans career. And, like, I guess she did break them up. She ended up leaving the house and everything. But I think she left the house more because of the fucked up shit that was going on with Nate.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she wanted to fucking be safe. She was tired of, what was happening.
What did you think of Ali's little shootout and stuff in the strip club?
I kind of liked it, but I didn't want to.
It's completely ridiculous and over the top. But I don't know. I guess either you buy into the ridiculousness of this season or you don't. That's really the choice you have. You go all in and you say, okay, let's get fucking weird. Because like I said, the first two seasons felt a lot like it was Sam Levinson being like, I'm going to meet these kids where they live. I'm going to try to write dialogue that matches how kids are talking today. I think he consulted teenagers and stuff like that or whatever to try to get the dialogue right and stuff like that. Season 3 feels like I just marathoned all of Quentin Tarantino's movies. And now I want to do like just fucking over the top, like, it's violence and it's a much more of that than anything else. And that end scene is the epitome of that. But given that the entire season was a Western, very overtly like in the Western theme, it ending with a shootout with a quick draw contest and stuff like that feels fitting. So while like you, I said to myself in the back of my head, this is kind of corny. I was invested. I was in it.
I liked when Alamo broke the window down and
that was a great shot.
Yeah.
That guy is an aura farming son of a bitch though. I'm so glad he's dead.
Right.
He's a great actor too, by the way. I think he was in 12 Years a Slave, maybe.
I don't know.
Great actor.
I can't believe that Bishop emptied his gun though. That surprised me.
Why? Why did he do it?
I don't know. It makes no fucking sense to me.
Well, so is it because of Maddie? I think he kind of has a little crush on Maddie.
Yeah, maybe.
I also think, and we see the snake right before, there's that shot of the snake in its terrarium or whatever, and the wood moves or whatever as it's moving around. Remember when Bishop told the story about the stripper that had the snake?
Yeah.
I feel like Bishop's the snake in that story. That he's there, he's quote unquote in bed with Alamo, but he's always kind of sizing him up and can I trust this guy? Will there be an opportunity where maybe it's better not to trust this guy or to turn on this guy? He clearly loves animals. He talked about it a lot. He made him poison Paladin, that bird.
Yeah.
He said he didn't want to. He comes in with that poodle and everything. He obviously has a connection to animals. And I feel like just the whole thing, I feel like maybe he just got sick of it. I really think he was on Rue's side. And I think he was pissed off about Rue too. Because one thing I was thinking about, and it just kind of bang in my head. Earlier in the season, she programs her phone, the DEA, or the DEA does it or whatever, programs them as mom in her contacts. Mm-hmm. Later, when she's at the church, she gets a phone call from mom. And we think it's going to be the DEA, but it's her actual mom. And when did that happen? the scene after Bishop had her phone. I think Bishop went in her phone. I think Bishop realized that the DEA or whatever was a contact of like the. I think he switched the contacts.
I don't think that Bishop knew about the DEA and went in and fucked with her phone. I think that's a little bit too far of a leap.
Then how come it says mom when her mom calls?
Because maybe she still had her mom saved as mom too.
Can you have two of the same contact?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess that torpedoes that plan. But I do think he always liked Rue.
Maybe. You can't really tell if he liked anything ever.
I guess that's true.
He was always completely deadpan.
Yeah.
Like, I was surprised that he had any, I don't know, agency or whatever. But he obviously did.
What's he holding at the end when he's like, he's got something, is it a rosary? He's got something that's dangling from his hand when he holds his hand out to the young kid that's got the gun and he's like, don't shoot, you know. Kind of.
I don't know. I didn't notice
I think it's a rosary.
Interesting.
Yeah. And he also says, may God have mercy on us all or whatever, you know.
Yeah. So he was obviously religious.
Yeah. I mean, hard to tell, but, and there's still, like, I'd have to watch it all over again. There's still so much more to break down. But like I said, the more I thought about it, the more layered all of this seemed. And I was like, this is actually really good writing. Like, I could see the criticisms, and it's not perfect. And there are things that I think should have been changed or whatever. And Sam Levinson doesn't use a writer's room, and he writes everything himself. And some people consider that a detriment, and maybe it is in television writing. I don't know. But there was a lot going on, and I was really satisfied with most everything.
Yeah.
It's a downer ending, but I think it's fitting for these characters.
I really want to rewatch the whole thing now that we know how it ends, and to be able to watch it like in rapid succession, because we had to wait so long between seasons. It would be nice to just watch it.
I wonder if it'll be even more jarring going from season 2 to season 3 if we watch it in rapid succession.
Maybe.
But yeah, and the whole like Rue narrating the thing the whole time, it's like I told you, after season 1, I kind of thought Rue was fated to die because the narration, I'm like, well, she's dead, so she's narrating like her life.
Yeah.
And she always uses the past tense. So like I kind of figured that's why. The other thing too, oh shit, I had it and I lost it.
You lost your train of thought there?
Yeah, it was, what was I going to talk about? Because we were talking about the narration.
Jules, maybe? I don't know.
Well, no, Jules was
barely here.
I like Hunter Schafer, and I think she does a great job. I don't know why. I mean, I guess they brought her back because, like, you kind of have to, but she's in a fucking ivory tower the whole time, doing nothing.
Well, and, like, it's weird that Rue's, like, hopping a plane to hang out with her in New York and then hopping a plane back to L.A. all the time. Like,
that is, yeah, why is she instantly traveling?
Does she even have that kind of money? I mean, it's weird.
It does almost appear as if she's just materializing wherever she is and then materializing back. It's weird. I agree.
And, like, what was the whole point? Like, they weren't in a relationship. I mean, Jules got in trouble from her sugar daddy because Rue left her clothes there once.
Yeah.
She painted some shit, and apparently the actress actually painted at least the one painting with the orange at the end.
The last Rue, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard somebody saying, like, oh, she's, like, throwing shade at Rue. That's, like, Rue burning in hell. And I'm like, no, I don't think so at all.
According to the actress, she was thinking of creamsicles or something.
Yeah.
It was like something happy and light or
Euphoric feeling.
Yeah. So, no, not hell.
But yeah, somebody was saying that, and I'm like, I just don't think she's a great painter. She's a lot better than I am, though, I'll tell you that.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I couldn't do it.
But yeah, I don't know. I can't think of what I was going to say. I got on the narration, and then I lost it. Something about Rue, for sure. But I don't know. Oh, that's what it was. So, her death. The Fent. The first 2 pills, they each take one. Those are regular Percocet.
Yeah.
The rest of the pills are fentanyl. So, people are arguing, whose fault is it? People are saying it's Lexi's fault because It's Lexi's fault because she said something to Maddie.
Oh, okay.
And then people are saying about the DEA.
Yeah.
And then people are saying it's Maddie's fault because Maddie said something to Alamo about the DEA. I do think that Maddie should have been smarter.
Yeah.
Than to say something to, like, even if she didn't think he was into drugs, she was obviously very naive. Even if she didn't think he was into drugs, like that, like if he thought she was working with the DEA, like that would, like, why would he like that?
Yeah.
He's doing illegal shit. So, yeah. I mean, I thought very stupid to do that. But you could also say, ultimately, it's Rue's fault because here's the thing. He gave her one Percocet, and then he gave her a loaded gun.
Uh-huh.
She didn't have to use it. She didn't have to pull it out. She didn't have to put it to her brain. She did not need to take another pill.
I think she suspected also because she saw that there was a second bottle sitting back there. There was the one bottle he gave her the pill from that he took a pill from, and there was another bottle sitting back on a different desk.
Yeah.
And I think that she knew, an unmarked bottle, that she knew that something was up. I think she suspected it might be fentanyl, and she still took it anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the, like, I think that's a message, too. That while there are enablers, while there are people that get in your way, while all this stuff is going on, if you're an addict, ultimately, if you choose to continue to use, the consequences are yours. Yeah. And I think that's part of the message of the show. Because I do think ultimately Rue's death is Rue's fault. At least partially. I think it's also partially Alamo's fault because he literally poisoned her.
Was she even clean for any part of the season? I mean, like...
I think she was mostly clean.
But I mean, like, California clean. California sober, you know.
Right, yeah. Exactly. I think she was, like, kind of... It didn't seem like she was such a mess as she was in, like, season 1 and season 2. But,
yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, I guess we didn't really talk about seasons 1 or 2.
No, I mean... I think we would need more episodes to cover the whole thing. I mean, maybe eventually we could do the whole show. But...
Yeah. The show as a whole, I think, was great. I really enjoyed it. We came to it maybe a little later than some people did, I guess. I don't know even how I became aware of it, but I think I saw it on TikTok or something. And I was like, I checked out the first episode and I was like, Carol would like this too. And I was like, we should watch this show. And we just, just loved it.
It's great.
And I was very satisfied with the end of the show. I have notes, of course. I mean, stuff that I would do a little bit differently, but all in all, I think it was a great way to end it.
Yeah. If we could get, like, I don't know, what do you think, 5 or 10 people to write in and say they'd like us to do an episode by episode, we could consider doing that.
I would, I guess. I don't know if I want to add any more to our plate. But I would consider, I guess, if 5 or 10 of you email us at latefee1994@AOL.com and want us to do
I just really want to rewatch it.
Season by season or episode by episode rewatch, we'll do it, I guess.
This will give us the excuse to do the thing we want to do anyway.
Which is what?
Rewatch the show.
Oh, yeah, agreed. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. Do you have any more thoughts?
Fantastic show. If you haven't watched it all, watch it. Yep.
And great acting. I won't mention the people I thought were...
You already did.
No, I didn't really say. I mean,
a little bit. A little bit.
But anyway, that is the episode for the week. Carol, tell people where they can find more great content to consume.
You can check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yep.
Write us at latefee1994@AOL.com.
You got it.
And share the tapes with your friends.
Oh, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.